Hello everybody, so in this video what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking care of the splitters that you see here and a few other things on the car that we have to finish. So before we begin, I want to let you guys know that we have finally created a Discord channel for the Natural Art Freaks. So there's a link in the description. You can go ahead and join that Discord server and then post your works over there, ask questions, do whatever you want to do there. And I'll also be streaming some of my works that I do that I don't post on YouTube. I might be streaming some of them over there. So if you wanna watch it, you can go ahead and go over there sometimes, and then you can also stream yours. I could join and watch you guys, stuff like that. So just go ahead and join the server. The link is in the description, and let's go ahead and then start this. So the first thing we're going to do is to take this object here. Let's go over into edit mode, and let me zoom into this area. So we're going to take the entire edge we have over here, and I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate it, and then P to separate the selection. Alright, and then let's get out of edit mode, take that piece now, let's go over into edit mode, and I'm going to delete this vertex and delete everything else we have on the other side. Alright, so if we take a look at the reference image over here, you can see it kind of pulls out a bit on this side until it gets here and then pulls in a bit. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. So I'm going to take this entire one over here, and let me just move it in the y-axis a bit to about some point here, not too far out, but we want to pull it out reasonably enough looking at the reference image. So I'm going to pull it out to about some point there like that, and then let's get onto the side. So I don't want to do with this side, but I think yeah, we're just going to keep this side in. Let's take this entire one and let's pull it out just a tiny bit like so. And let me take this, let's get to the top view, okay? And we're just going to make sure this is pretty straight. So I'm going to move it out a bit like that, and I'm going to move this out a bit like that. Now we don't have any blueprint to be following, but we should be able to eyeball this and do it pretty right. Alright, so that's pretty good. So now I'm going to take the whole thing and we're going to extrude it in the y-axis to the inside. So we're going to go some distance inside. So let me just pull it out, inside a bit more. And I'm going to end it somewhere there like that. Alright, very nice. So let's get out of edit mode, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to take that mesh and we're going to add in a solidify modifier. So solidify modifier, and it's going the other direction. So I'm going to take the whole thing, press Shift and N, or Control Shift and N to recalculate the normals and move the solidify below it. Alright, so I think I'm going to keep it as it is. Let's just apply the scale just to be sure that the solidify modifier isn't extending it bounds. And now we're going to go ahead and apply the solidify modifier, but first let's enable even thickness, right? And I'm going to apply the solidify modifier. Let's select object and select shade smooth. Okay, so let me get to the top view. I'm going to select all of the vertices on the back. We don't need the faces on the back, so I'm just going to delete all of those faces, not vertices, on the back. And I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, press E, and then F, align it with the one on the outside. So close to it like that. Let me just zoom into this area so I can see this much better. So G twice, E, and then let's pull it close, just like that. Alright, very nice. Now I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, add one in here, press E, pull it close like that. Now I'm sure we have some extra faces in the middle, so let's jump to the middle right here. And I'm pretty sure we have some extra faces in the middle here, which we do. So I'm just going to press X and delete the vertices, the faces, and there we go. Alright, now I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, add in 2 extra loop cuts, press Alt and S, and then shrink it out just a bit like so. And that should be pretty much it for that area. Now the next thing we have to do is to create the cover underneath it, as you can see right here. So I want to try to create that as well. I think we have the blueprint for that, but I'm not going to follow that. I'm just going to make my own thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this edge over here. I want to Shift and D this, move it in the y-axis like so, and I'm going to press P to separate the selection. Now I'm going to take that new selection and let's delete, let me see. Alright, let's dissolve this vertex here and delete this vertex, and we're going to delete everything else on top. And now let's take this one, get onto the side view, let's see what we can do. So I'm going to move this in the y-axis a bit more, I don't know, to some point there like that. I think should be good, yeah. And I'm going to extrude this down and kind of match the angle of it like so, as you can see. Maybe I'm just going to pull it out a bit more because I think the angle is too extreme. So I'm just going to pull it out just like so. And let me take the whole thing, press S and then Z, type in 0 just to flatten it very nicely like that. Now let me get onto the front view and see what we have. Alright, that's looking really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire thing, making sure the one in the middle is the active element. I'm going to press S and Y just to make sure this is on the same axis of each other right there. Alright, very nice. So I'm just going to dissolve this vertex, so I mean this edge in the middle here, and that should be good. I'm just going to slide this one around a bit, and there we go. So let me just select object and select shade smooth for this. Alright, now let me take the whole thing, extrude it in the y-axis, just a little bit like that, and I'm going to delete the faces on the inside. Okay, very nice. Now I want to delete all of the faces in here as well, so let me select this vertex, get over to the center, hold down control and select that vertex, and I'm going to press X and delete the vertex, just so we don't have any faces on the top. Now I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here, press E and then F, align it with the one below and pull it close like that. Now let me take the whole thing, press M and merge by distance to get rid of extra vertices that might be overlapping each other, like the ones over here. Let me just fix that by hand. So I'm going to take 1, 2, merge at last, and then 1 and 2, merge at last. Alright, so I'm just going to join the two, and now we can move on to the next thing. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is the logo that we see here. So let me just get over to the front view. Let's not waste much time. Let me just get to the front view, and I'm going to take everything else and hide it. I'm going to press Shift and S, cancel to world origin, and I'm going to add in a mesh circle. Alright, so we're going to go with 32. So we're going to go with the 32 vertices that we have, and let me just rotate this in the x-axis and type in 90. Now let me go into edit mode and scale this down to about something like so. Alright, now I'm going to move it down in the z-axis to about there, like that, and let me just move it in the x-axis to about there. So we have to scale it up a bit more, so I'm just going to scale it up to some point there like that. Let me just add in a mirror modifier real quick. Alright, there we go. So let me just move this in the x-axis all the way to some point there. I'm just going to scale it up some more. And I'm going to press F and then I to insert the faces. Let's just go into wireframe so we can see this much better. So I'm going to press I to insert the faces. And I'm going to insert it to some point like that. Now let me press X and delete the faces. Alright. Now I'm going to press Ctrl and R through here. If we take a closer look at the logo, let me just open up another reference image. Alright, so if we take a good look at the logo, you can see the outer area is much bigger than the inner area. So what we're going to do is to go over into edge select mode, and I'm going to press Ctrl and R, and let's add in 2 loop cuts, I guess, and then let's deselect the inner one and dissolve the outer one, just like that. And I'm just going to slide this out just a tiny bit, not too much, just a tiny bit, like so. Now let me just zoom into this area, and I'm going to move this in the y-axis. I'm going to move it out to some point there like that, not too far out, just pretty far out enough. And I'm going to take these two and press E and then Y and move it inside there like so. Alright, very nice. Now all that I'm going to do now is to take this edge, take that edge, and take this edge, and I'm going to press Ctrl B to bevel this, and let's add in 3 supporting edge loops, 3 loop cuts like so, and there we go. And I'm going to select object and select shade smooth. Alright, very nice. Let me get to the front view again. Take the whole thing, press Shift and D, move it in the x-axis all the way to some point there like that. And there we go. So we have our logo. Now I'm going to try and then fit it onto the necessary areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, move it in the y-axis. We're going to move it very far out so it's not overlapping with the car. So I'm going to press Alt and H to bring everything back. Okay, we moved it too far. So we're going to pull it back inside like so. Alright, very nice. Alright, so let's get on to the side view, and before we actually do anything else, okay, I'm going to move this up just a little bit, and I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate this, and I'm going to press M and move this into the backup. Or let's just keep it there for now. Let me just move it in the y-axis a bit like that, and then let me take this piece now, and then what we're going to do is to go over into edit mode, and I'm going to try to match the angle because we don't have the shape in the blueprint on the side view right here. We only have it in the front view. So I'm just going to try and then eyeball this. I think we pulled this up too much, so let me just move it down some more. So to some point like in the center like that. And let me get onto the side view. Let's move this in the y-axis to here, and I'm going to rotate this like so, just to match the surface like that. So I'm going to rotate it some more, and there we go. Let me move it up in a Z and then move it up in a Y like that. Alright, so that's not bad. I'm going to pull it out some more because I think it's sinking too far into the mesh. So let me just pull it up. And not up, because we don't want to move it. We don't want to misalign it with the blueprint. So undo that and move it only in the y-axis, just like that. I'm going to rotate it some more in the X. like so, and everything should be coming out great. So we can actually make this fit onto the hood much more with a lattice deform. So what I'm going to do is I want to go over into edit mode. First off, let's apply the mirror modifier real quick. Okay, let me just make sure the normals are correctly calculated, and I want to take these two, press shift and S and choose cursor to selected, and let me get onto the side view, and we're going to add in a lattice real quick. Alright, so you can take a look at how much splits I added into the lattice, and we're going to use this to try and deform the mesh that we have on the hood, that is the logo. So let's take this one and then take that one second. I'm going to press Ctrl P and choose lattice deform, just like that. Now we can take this lattice now, and let me go over into the top view, take everything else we have on the sides, like so, and let me just move it in the y-axis, like that. So we're just going to move that in the y-axis so it sinks in some more. And I'm going to go over to the top view again, and we're going to take all of the ones we have on this side, the top ones, like that, deselect this. I'm going to take the down ones as well, and I'm going to move those in the Z axis, I presume. So we're going to move it in the Z, I'm going to move it in the Y as well. So Z and then Y, and I'm going to move it, nope, I'm going to move it in the Y a little bit more, and there we go. So that should be fitting on the hood very, very nicely. So I'm going to take this now, and let's go over in here and let's apply the lattice deform. Now we can go ahead and then delete the lattice, and now it should be fitting on the hood very, very nicely. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing for the logo on the back. Alright, very nice. So you can see that does it for the red logo as well, and we can move on to the other stuff. But before we actually do the other stuff, I want us to finish the wheel well and the base of the vehicle real quick before we move on to those, maybe in the next video. So for the wheel well, what we're going to do is to take all of these three pieces here, including the one below. Let's try and find a matching reference image to do this with. Alright, so there's not really much of a reference image to use. The best I could find was this one. This is the best I could find. So we're going to try and then just do things our own way. So let me just take those mesh that we have selected now, and we're going to go over into edit mode, and let me go over to vertex select mode. So I'm going to zoom into this area right here, and let me take all of this, take all of that. Let's get onto this side. I'm going to take all of this as well, get onto this side, and I'm going to take all of that. Now I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate this, and press P to separate the selections. And now we have to join all of those selections that we separated. So first off, let me hide a few of the meshes. Take all of these and press Ctrl J to join them. And let me just get onto this area right here. Let me take all of this, merge it in the center. Let me get over here as well. Take all of that, merge in the center, and also down here. We're going to take everything and merge in the center. Now let's try and dissolve every other thing else we don't need in here. So I'm going to dissolve these vertices. So dissolve vertices, and there we go. And let me try and make the space between this one even, just like that. Or we can just go ahead and dissolve that one as well. Let's dissolve this one, and let's get onto the side as well. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 and dissolve it, and I'm going to dissolve this one as well. Alright, very nice. Now let's bring everything back, and let's take that mesh again, that object, and let's take the whole thing and move it in the x-axis to the inside, like that. Now I'm going to extrude everything in the x-axis, like so, to the inside. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So let's press S and then X and type in 0, just to flatten it. I want to pull it out a bit more. I don't know how far inside we want to pull this, but I think it goes pretty much far inside. Let me try and pull this out. I don't know. I'm just going to go to something like that. Alright, and I'm going to press F on this. I'm going to press F, and we're going to press I, and then press Ctrl B to enable boundary. Let me just insert a little bit like that. Alright, very nice. Let me get onto the side view, see what we got. Okay, not bad. Alright, now I'm going to take the whole thing. Let me just press Ctrl Shift N to recalculate the normals to the inside area. And let me select object and select shade smooth. Alright, very nice, there we go. So I'm just going to add in supporting edge loop on this side. So let me just press E and then F and then move it close to that area just like that. Alright, very nice. It came out great. So we're pretty much going to do the same thing for the side as well. Alright, so I'm going to try and then move this inside a bit because I think it's pulling out way too far out. So let me just take all of this from here to, hold on, let me take all of that, delete the vertices, take all of this, delete the vertices, take that, delete the vertices, and take all of this and delete the vertices. Now I think this side should be pretty good, which it is, so we're good. Alright, now I'm going to take the whole thing, let's select object and select shade smooth. And very nice. So I'm going to go over into edit mode, and let's press Ctrl and R2 here, press E. First off, let me take all of the faces on the back, and I'm going to press I to insert this, insert it to about some point there, like that. And I'm going to press Ctrl and R2 here, press E, pull it close like that. And let me just use the knife tool on this side. I'm going to knife it from here to there, and then to here, and then to down here. Alright, I'm going to take 1 and 2, and press J to join it. Very nice. And there we go. Alright, so I think we have solidify enabled, so I'm going to delete that solidify modifier, and I'm going to delete the subdivision surface modifier as well. I'm going to delete it from this one as well. And now let's take 1 and 2 and press Ctrl J to join them. Alright, very nice. So everything is coming out super great. The next thing we can do is to let me just take all of this over here, okay? And let me press Shift and D to duplicate it. Press P to separate the selection, and I'm going to take this now. Let me go over into edit mode. I'm going to take all of this, extrude it in the x-axis all the way to the center. I'm going to take all of this from here to here. I'm going to extrude it in the y-axis all the way to some point there, like that. But first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, go over into edit mode for this as well, take all of that, press Shift and D, P to separate the selection, and now we can take this and join it to that one right there with Ctrl J. And I don't think we need the extra vertices in the middle here, so dissolve vertices. And can take 1 and 2, merge at last, 1 and 2, merge at last, 1 and 2, and merge it at the last. I'm going to delete this vertex for now. Take this one, extrude it in the x-axis to the center. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, and press F. And there we go. And finally, we can take 1 and then 2. All this entire edge over here, extrude it in the x-axis all the way to the center. Take 1, 2, press F. Okay, 3, 4, and press F. And let's see how we can do this area as well. So what I can do is, okay, let me delete this vertex and take this one. Let's just slide it inside some more. So to some point there like that. And there we go. Alright, very nice. So what I'm going to do with this one again is I'm just going to extrude it in the z-axis to cover up this area some more. So I'm just going to move it down in the z-axis to the inside like that. And there we go. Alright, very nice. Let me take the entire thing and move it. Let me just move that in the y-axis a bit to intersect with the mesh we have over there. Alright, so you can see that came out really great, and that should pretty much do it for that area. I'm just going to take the entire thing now, and let's just select object and select shade smooth, just to smoothing it out very nicely like that. Very nice. So I feel like I should end it here, and we can move on to the next part in the next video. But hopefully you got, actually hold on, I forgot this side. We left a bit of space on this side. Let's fix that area as well. So I'm going to take all of this, extrude it in the y-axis, pull it all the way to the inside here. Let me move it down in the z-axis like so. Move it in the y. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and try and then clean this area to look much better. So I'm going to take this vertex here. Let me just slide it here. Let me see. Let me just slide it to some point here and slide it in here like so. Let me slide it in some more. Slide this one down to about there. Take this, slide it to about some point there. I think we're going to have to add in some few extra vertices or edge loops to kind of help this area a bit more. Let me move it down in the z-axis to about there. Okay. And let me slide this into about there. Press Ctrl and R2 here, add in another one, two of them. And let me just move this down in the Z-axis like so. Press G twice and then C, move it out like so. Take this one as well, G twice and then C, move it out like so. Pull it down in the Z-axis like so. Move it inside. I'm going to add one more in here. Press G, Shift and then Z. And then let's just move this in here like so. Alright, we have to fix this area as well. So let me just pull this one all the way to this side. Pull it in some more. And I'm going to take this, press G twice and then C. And move it out like so. Alright, very nice. And let me just extrude this, Shift and then Z. Move it all the way to there. Take these three and press F. That should pretty much do it. Alright, very nice. Now we can take the whole thing, select objects and select shade smooth. And you can see that came out great. So we have all of the surface or all of those areas closed up. And we can pretty much end this part, and I will see you guys in the next video. So like I said, we have a Discord server now, so just go ahead and join the Discord server. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video.